Now, last month on 5 Live, I did a discussion. I was in for Nahal on the afternoon programme. It was about a month ago, and we did a discussion about knife crime. And as part of it, I spoke to a guy called Alan Walsh, who is from Anfield Boxing Club and also the organisation Real Men Don't Carry Knives. And we were talking about knife crime, we were talking about youth services, and Alan said there is a direct link between the rise in knife crime and cuts to youth services.
It's just plain on your nose to see. I've been involved in youth violence and youth work for 30 years. So I've worked in youth clubs, worked for Liverpool Youth Service for many years. And you could see not long after youth clubs closed, we lost most of our youth clubs in Liverpool overnight, to be honest with you. We lost the play service overnight, and then we lost most of our youth services. So what you were seeing in these mostly deprived and demanding communities was young people just roaming the streets, and what they were doing, it just created a vacuum for drug dealers and wannabe gangsters.
Yeah, well, it comes as youth workers are warning of the disastrous long-term effects of government cuts to youth services. So I did that chat, and I spoke to 3 different youth workers from different parts of the country. It was really illuminating. Talked for about half an hour, and I went back to the car and I got an email from a woman called Sam who deals with media stuff at an organisation called Hideout OnSide Youth Zone. Now, they're a national youth charity that builds these state-of-the-art youth centres in disadvantaged areas, and they do it across the country. And they're incredibly successful. 55,000 young people aged 8 to 18 or 25 if they have additional needs come through the doors of their 14 youth zones every single year. I spoke to Sam and she said, why don't you come down to one? There's one literally about 20 minutes down the road from where I live, around South Manchester, and I went to their site to see what they do.
Hi, my name's Corinne and I'm the Deputy Head of Youth Work here at Hideout Youth Zone.
Right, Corinne, you're going to take us on a little tour. We are starting in...
the gym.
Oh, yes.
So in the gym, we have sessions on 7 days a week. We've got some top tier chef. You can get everything from a personal plan. Just for 50p, you can do weights, cardio, whether you want to lose weight, gain weight. It helps build confidence. And it's a really good space as well for young people to just build connections with youth workers. OK, let's go from here. Where are we going into here? Let's walk our way through. Let's go. And we're heading into the rec area. All right. So this is the heart of a youth zone. This is where it's all bubbling. We've got pool tables, table tennis. You can sit down, have a hot meal for just 50p. Not 50p. You can enter for 50p. This is where we have a lot of games. This is where the social interactions. There's PS5s. There's an Xbox. Okay. So look, what have we got here on our left? You were showing me this earlier on. Yeah, this is our dance and drama studio. So we do everything in here in terms of street dance. We do performing arts, drama workshops, monologues. It's a really good space as well. There's a big projector. Sometimes we do movies based on themes. With some of the seniors, we've watched, scenes of Top Boy. We've reviewed it. With some of the juniors, we watched Disney. Bit of that. It's a really good space. All right, let's walk past here. We've got a couple of guys who are playing on the PlayStation, and then we've got a huge, great sports hall here. Yeah, so this is our sports hall, and we do all your traditional sports: hockey, badminton, tennis. This is a really good space again as well because it's multi-use, so they really like doing big games like tug-of-war, dodgeball, and again we work with a lot of partners, so we have also delivery with some rugby partners, some football partners, and again just a really big space. Got a couple of guys shooting hoops in there at the moment, haven't we? Right, we'll walk past here. There's a big screen showing cartoons and what have you, and now this is a seriously impressive climbing wall. Yeah, we've got the auto belays and the belays, and again it's a really good space to help young people just get used to doing outdoor activities. There's not many places you can go and do climbing for 50p, so it's really accessible, and it's a really good space for young people to build confidence, make new friends, and we've actually had some groups of young people that have actually got qualifications, so they can actually teach climbing now as well. And into the arts and crafts room, which, I mean, you go into any kind of high school, secondary school in this country, and this is the kind of facility you'd expect to see in the art department, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one amazing...
Members' announcement to reception, please.
Okay.
And that's the almighty. Our receptionist keeping us in check. In terms of the facility, it's amazing. There's not many places, like I said, where it's £5 membership, 50p every time that you come. There's always 20 activities minimum. And in terms of the offer, whether it's clay making, fashion, design, we just recently started a project with Burberry. It helps young people with aspirations and pathways into careers, not just somewhere to go, something to do, someone to talk to. Yeah. It's got a real journey from 8 years old up to 25 if needed.
Let's go back outside OnSide again. There's a lot of door opening going on here, isn't there? Here we go. And so is that it? Is that the lot?
No, we've got upstairs. You want to go upstairs?
Got upstairs too?
We've got upstairs as well.
What you got up there?
Floor number uno.
What you got up there?
Upstairs.
Yeah.
Do you want to see?
Come on, let's do it. Right, we're upstairs.
Yes, so this is the second floor, and this is our multimedia suite. This is where we do our podcast. Young people lead a lot of them in terms of themes or social issues, whether it's what's going on in the world, whether it's just something on the mind, mental health, and they'll give advice to other young people. And then we've just landed outside health and wellbeing.
So we just got outside health and wellbeing, which on the face of it is going to be kind of beauty and that kind of thing, is it?
Yeah.
But just describe what we've got, because you've got a sink for doing hair, a nail bar.
Yeah,
You've got all of that over there, the barber chair. But as you were saying to me before, there's more to it than that, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's set up like a barber and a nail shop because, as you know, when you go to the barbers or you go to nail salon, it's kind of like a mini therapy session, isn't it?
Yeah.
But without the therapist.
Yeah.
You talk, you offload, you share your problems, you get advice, and that's the ethos that young people don't necessarily have to feel the direct of I'm talking to someone. It's a relaxed environment, and we discuss identity, sexual health, mental health. There's so many different things in an array that young people discuss.
But is that then a case of, if you then hear something which is setting off an alarm bell, then that is the beginning of being able to say, well, hang on a second, we heard something here, something that needs paying attention to.
Yeah, we encourage young people to talk about topics that are happening to them. So it's all about them learning how to debate, learning how to talk, how to question, but doing it in a respectful way where it doesn't lash out and it's not disrespectful.
Do you think they realise that? Because the psychology of that's so interesting, isn't it? If you sat somebody down and you've got like a boardroom or whatever over there, if you sat them down at a table and said, right, talk to me about things that are going on in your life that are problematic, they'd probably be like, but get them in somewhere like that. Do you think they realise that's what's going on, that they're opening up because of the environment you've created?
To be fair, everything that we have built here is down to the relationships they have with staff, and that's called what it is. Like, the facility is amazing, the offer, but it all comes down to the relationships they have, and because they'll have those relationships and those bonds and those connections, they're able, and we're able to do probably more work than necessarily other organisations or other educators could possibly do. It's an informal setting, but it's still education in that sense.
Well, you can tell they love you. We were trying to pin you down to have a chat before, and you were off talking to someone else, off talking to somebody else.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, youth work is literally, I was a youth club kid, I came up in youth clubs, so I know the impact youth work can have, so that's why I love it and I'm passionate about it.
She was amazing, Corinne. She just came over to me as soon as I walked through the door, and just one of those people you can see would just be so inspiring for the kids around her. So it was brilliant to meet her, but also to meet some of the teenagers who we're going to hear from a little bit later on in the programme. It was an amazing place, as you were hearing, just getting a little idea of what life is like at Hideout OnSide Youth Zone in Manchester. We'll hear from more of that a little later.
She sounded really bubbly, actually, so it is incredible to go to a place like that.
A chat with Erin, who's 17, Nico, who's 16, and 11-year-old Lucas, who told me what the Youth Zone has helped them with. Tell me what this place means to you, Erin. How long have you been coming here for?
I've been coming here since the start, 2020, when it first opened.
Right, so you know everybody and everybody knows you, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you do here? What do you like about this place?
I like that this place gives me a lot of opportunities to do things that I would never have got to do outside of here. I also like that it gives me places to do things that, like, I couldn't do at home.
What are the things you like doing here?
I like that in the health and wellbeing room, they taught me how to do braiding on all different types of hair.
Right.
So it gives me, like, sort of skills to do hair outside of here as, like, an extra job on top of what I already do.
Okay, so do you think that you would like to do that as your career, basically?
Maybe not as my full-time career, but as a side bit.
What was life like before? I mean, you said what you were like before. Yeah. What was life like before? I mean, what were you doing when you got home from school or whatever? What was life looking like?
I used to actually sit at home in my bed on my phone a lot.
How much?
Too much.
How much is too much?
All the time.
All the time. So you get back from school on your phone doing what?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
Just looking at socials and stuff?
Yeah.
Right. And how did that make you feel?
At the time it felt right, but now when I look back, it obviously wasn't right.
So this is completely different for you now. So what does your sort of day-to-day look like now? Do you come here most days?
I come here like twice a week because I've got other things going on now. Like I work a lot, or I do volunteering at the Chill Factor. Because Hideout got me an opportunity to go abroad and ski. So now on a Saturday morning I volunteer at the Chill Factor, helping younger people do the journey that I had back when I was doing snow camp.
That's amazing. Lucas, what about you? What do you do at this place? What do you like doing at this place?
Football.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Yeah.
And rock climbing.
That's an amazing climbing wall over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been climbing on there for?
Probably since it's been open.
Okay. So that's a fair while. So how good are you now?
I got to the top of every single wall, so I'm pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good to me, I'd say. What do you like about this place? Why do you like coming here?
It's helped me like start my football career because I play for the team now, and it's just like it's boosted my confidence a lot, and like doing things like I've not ever done.
Right. Okay. So new experiences, meeting new people, getting on the football team. Yeah. What position do you play?
Striker and midfielder.
Right, so just kind of in the hole there. Yeah, okay, all right. You're saying it's boosted your confidence, right? I mean, Erin was telling us what her life was like before she came here. What were things like, you know, in your life, in your family life and all that kind of thing?
It was, I socialised in school, but like when I got home, I didn't go out like often. Sometimes I would go out like with my little brothers, and then honestly, I didn't go out with no one else.
Now, Nico, you got your Raheem Sterling Foundation top on. All right, there you go. So you're a football guy as well, are you?
Yeah, I'm a football guy.
Yeah. Is that what you mainly do here?
No, I also do music, boxing, and I bash gym a lot stuff.
What kind of music do you do?
I do anything. If I like the music, if I like the beat, I'll be on it still.
What? So hang on, you're MCing?
MCing? Nah, I mean, if I like the beat, then why not, innit?
Yeah. But are you doing that with mates here as well?
Yeah, like lots of my mates love music as well, so me and my friends also come here to do some music, like studio, because Hideout's got like a good studio.
Yeah.
Where young people and people like us, teenagers and all that, can go and express whatever's going on in their lives, really.
We've talked quite a lot about the fact that there are parts of the country where these kind of services are existing less and less, right? And I've spoken to quite a lot of people who have said what that results in is younger people having nothing to do and getting caught up in, you know, problematic things, right? Whether that's gangs, whether that's knife crime, all those kind of things. What do you think when you hear something like that?
Well, I just feel like there should be more youth zones across like England or wherever it's needed, to be honest, because let's say we're very fortunate, Manchester's very fortunate to have youth zones, because without them I feel like knife crime and gang related activities would actually like go up or like increase.
Why does that happen? Just because people haven't got a focus, somewhere to go like this, why does that then result in them getting involved? And I'm asking you because you're much closer to it than I would be at your age, you know what I mean? Why would that then result in them ending up in a situation like we've just been saying?
Because maybe they've been wanting to do something for ages, like a dream of theirs, but it's not gone well. And maybe the school, like the grades given up on them or something like that, so the last resort is to do stuff like that, like gang, because they have to, because to survive.
It's having people who believe in you and thinking that you've got prospects, right? You've got an ambition, something for the future, something to aim towards. We all need that, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Again, Nico, it sort of feels like without this place, your life would be very, very different.
Yeah, it would be. If this didn't existed, I'd probably be at home, you know, like same with Erin, really, like just being on my phone all day, playing PlayStation, playing FIFA. Not actually like socialising, making new friends in the outside world.
I really like talking to all of those. That was Erin, who's 17. It was Nico, 16, and little 11-year-old Lucas, who was excellent as well. The government says local authorities have a statutory duty to ensure young people can access youth services, and the government is delivering an above-inflation increase in funding for councils to over 64 billion quid for 24-25. We will hear more from my trip to that particular facility, amazing facility, and Sam, actually, who I mentioned, the media officer who initially got in contact with me, she's right to say I referred to basically the national youth charity is called OnSide. They are the ones who run 14 youth zones. The specific one I mentioned is called Hideout Youth Zone. So it's an important distinction. Thank you for that. So yeah, we'll hear more from some of the people who manage and run the facility a little bit later on. And OnSide is a national youth charity that builds state-of-the-art youth centres in disadvantaged areas across the country. And they look for financial support from seriously high wealth individuals. That's kind of what they're looking for, proper philanthropy ultimately. And they've built 14 in total. And we then spoke on the phone, and she invited me along to one of their facilities in Manchester. It's literally about a 15-20 minute drive from where I live. And it's an amazing place. This one is called the Hideout Youth Zone. It was unbelievable. We heard a tour I had of it earlier on, but just absolutely full of teenagers, loving every bit of it. There was music. There was a music, room where they could just do everything and anything in there. There was a drama facility, brilliant sports hall with a load of people playing basketball, outside football pitches, climbing wall. There was a health and beauty facility as well, an arts and craft room, honestly. And these young people, they go and pay 50p. And then they can just get involved in all of that. And it was so impressive. I ended up speaking to Lucas and to Erin and Nico about how this facility has helped them.
I like that this place gives me a lot of opportunities to do things that I would never have got to do outside of here. I like that in the health and wellbeing room, they taught me how to do braiding on all different types of hair.
Right.
So it gives me sort of skills to do hair outside of here as an extra job on top of what I already do.
Football.
Yeah.
Cooking.
Yeah.
And rock climbing.
That's an amazing climbing wall over there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been climbing on there for?
Probably since it's been open.
Okay. So that's a fair while. So how good are you now?
I got to the top of every single wall, so I'm pretty good.
Now, Nico, you got your Raheem Sterling Foundation top on. All right, there you go. So you're a football guy as well, are you?
Yeah, I'm a football guy.
Yeah. Is that what you mainly do here?
No, I also do music, boxing, and I bash gym a lot of stuff.
What kind of music do you do?
I do anything. If I like the music, if I like the beat, I'll be on it still.
We heard a longer interview with all of them earlier. All of them, each one of those, Lucas, Erin and Nico, essentially said, one way or another, this place has totally changed my life. And changed my focus. I've got people who believe in me as well, which is, again, for the first time in a lot of their cases. And actually, when Erin was talking about the health and beauty room and she was talking about doing the hair, the kind of managers of the facility were saying that is a place where, yes, ostensibly they're doing hair and they're doing beauty, but actually this is a place where we can talk to them and where they reveal things about their lives that we can talk to them about, rather than taking them into a bland room and saying, right, go on, what's going on in your life? And they open up in the way that you do when you go to the hairdressers or the barbers.
Yeah,
this is a place where you talk, right? Now, it comes as youth workers a warning of the disastrous, as they see it, long-term effects of government cuts to youth services. That's how they describe it. During my visit, I spoke to Chief Executive Adam Farricker and Corinne Morris, who's Deputy Head of Youth Work and Partnerships, both brilliant people, and I asked how much they think they're changing lives.
Massively. I think this is something that's been needed in this part of Manchester for such a long time. Youth work's needed now more than ever. It was youth work that changed my life as a young person, as a young lad growing up round here, so I know firsthand the impact of youth work on a vulnerable children and young person's life.
What would the kids or the people who come here be missing if this place didn't exist? What would they be doing instead?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our young people, they do say the opportunities they've been given they wouldn't have had otherwise, whether it is trips out, whether it's support to get a job, whether it's just having a trusted adult, someone to talk to, someone to help build you up and give you confidence and believe in you. That's something it's not everywhere and not every young person gets that, and when they come in here, that's what they will get.
So do you see that when you've got people coming in who have got whatever problems going on in family life, in their personal life, and then I don't know, a few months later, maybe a few years later, you see them turn it around? They're a different person.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing with youth work. You're not going to see something overnight. It's definitely a journey for young people.
Yeah.
It goes upside down, diagonal, backwards. But that is something from when we opened our doors in 2020. We've seen the growth of so many young people. It's astonishing just to see where they've started to where they're at now.
What do you think on that point, Adam? You know, because we talk a lot about the importance of these services to make sure that younger people aren't disillusioned. And we know cuts in services mean that in lots of parts of the country, that is what is happening. You know, they're becoming disaffected, they're getting into all sorts of, you know, we know the kind of things, whether it's gangs, whether it's knife crime, etc., etc. Do you think that you are stopping some of the people who come here from getting into that world?
I think we're definitely contributing to reducing the risk of that. You know, gangs and violence and poverty and some of the other negative things that we see a lot about in the media around young people, they're not new things, they've always been there. I just think it's more and more increasingly portrayed as that's the starting point of young people now. And what we're trying to do, as Kevin said, is change the narrative around that as well, but show that if you do provide young people somewhere safe to go, positive activities to do, and opportunities to give back locally as well, they will do that time and time again.
How are you able to make this work? I mean, this is an unbelievable facility, right? I mean, I've been sort of blown away, if I'm absolutely honest with you, by just how good and new and modern and just, you know, the variety of it. How are you making it work when so many other parts of the country are struggling?
I think our unique selling point is that we don't try to do it by ourselves, so we create a partnership between the local authority, the local community, young people themselves, but also the private sector businesses that are based locally within Manchester, within Salford or within some of the other towns and cities where youth zones are based, to make sure that everybody comes together to realise that young people...
Well, that's the key, is it? Knocking on the door of private businesses saying, how about getting involved?
Nearly 70%, if not more, of our income comes from private sector investment. And that's something that's very different to maybe a lot of youth sector or voluntary sector charity organisations across the country. And that's what makes us sustainable in the long term, because we need, as Corinne said, youth work, the impact of youth work doesn't happen overnight. We need long-term investment in universal youth work services, not reactionary services tackling knife crime or antisocial behaviour, but those core early prevention, long-term services based and embedded in local communities.
Yeah. I know there'll be some listeners who will hear this conversation and think, well, when I was younger, you know, maybe this is older listeners might be thinking, when I was younger, I didn't need something on my doorstep like this. You know, I could just get together with my pals, we could just go and do our thing. You know, why do younger people these days so desperately need something like this, they might be wondering?
Yeah, I mean, the world's changed. COVID changed a lot for young people. You know, They lost a lot of years of socialising and development. Also, it's a safe space to go, and it's just somewhere where I said you've got a trusted adult that's just going to help support you and be the best version of yourself, but also hold you accountable, give you opportunities. But again, it's just rare in terms of we put youth work first. Yeah, the activities are great and amazing, but that's just your starting point.
You've said about the relationship with an adult a few times.
Yeah.
Does that mean, you know, in quite a lot of cases you're getting younger people who don't have that decent relationship with an adult, whether it be their parents, whether it be at school, whatever it might be, and actually here they realise that actually, oh, hang on, you can have a good relationship with adults and move on in that way? Yeah,
I mean, we're probably the first adult that they've chose to have in their life. It's voluntary that they come here, you know, we're not a teacher, we're not a parent, we're not a guardian. They choose to come here and engage with us, and that just shows in the engagement and, like you said, the relationships that staff have.
I was so impressed by them. I was so impressed by all the people that I met. Well, I was impressed by the young people, but then I was really impressed by the people who are helping them there as well. Chief Executive Adam Farraker, what a good guy he was, and Corinne Morris, who was just an absolute ball of energy, Deputy Head of Youth Work and Partnerships there. And I should say, just to reflect what the government say, local authorities have a statutory duty to ensure young people can access youth services, and the government is delivering an above-inflation increase in funding for councils to over 64 billion quid for 24-25. I had a text earlier saying, well, there's only so much money in the pot, you know, to go to these kind of things. But I think the argument from people who were there and involved in this kind of work is, well, yes, there is only so much money, but instead of, you know, putting money into combating knife crime as a result of where we are, they would argue that it's about prevention. You put money into those youth services and you prevent, you know, younger people getting involved in that kind of thing in the first place. So that's their argument. But thank you to those guys for having me along earlier on in the week.